Yo, what's up guys? How's it going? This is Easy Things to Draw. Today I'm going to go over how to draw Link from Zelda. I'm going to be doing kind of a portrait style thing going on, like shoulders and up. I will do a body one later, but you know, for now I'm going to stick to heads, at least for certain video game characters like Link. Plus, I mean, honestly, I always like learning the heads first and then moving on to the body. So I'm going to be using a #2 pencil, like the kind of pencils you use in school that you take tests with, because I'm kind of the opinion that it doesn't really matter what you use. I mean, I really don't. I don't really. I mean, at least for line art, you know, for line art, and you know, that's just my opinion. So I'm going to start with the circle here. I don't know if you can see that on the page very well. Let me look. I can kind of see it on the page. Move that out of the way. It'll be a circle. We're going to divide this into thirds. And this is just my natural tendency to divide every head into thirds. Putting a center line there for where he's going to look. And maybe another line over here. If you look at my video on rhythms, or on how to structure the head, I kind of go over that. There's a front plane, the side plane. Thinking about the side plane over here. Alright, gonna find the hairline. Hairline's gonna be about here. I'm gonna put in where my eye line's gonna be. His eyes are gonna be bigger though. I'm gonna draw him a little bit slightly anime style. But I'm just trying to teach you more how to do it instead of just drawing line art right away. This is how I'm thinking when I draw in general. I am thinking in this form. His neck is a little thin. It's not like, you know, I'm thinking more like Ocarina of Time Link. Not so much, you know, what's that one? Wind Waker. That was an awesome one. You know, that was funny because I remember when Wind Waker they first showed, and I don't know, I might be too old, but I don't know if anybody played Wind Waker. I love that game, and I love that design now too of Link. But I remember originally they at E3 they ended up showing this badass realistic version of Zelda when the GameCube first being announced, and then everybody was like, "Whoa!" And then out of nowhere they kind of revamped it. And they turned Link into what looks like Wind Waker, and I was like, what the hell is that? Is that like a block of... What is that? It looked like a felt Muppet, you know? I was like, what is that? And I was like losing my mind because they had made Link into this kiddie thing. But ultimately, looking back on it, it was such an amazing game, you know? And I love that art style as well. And we did get a more realistic version of Zelda, you know, later on. All right. I'm right now I'm placing things down. I want to do this because I'm placing things down so that I have a solid foundation for where I'm going to draw. You know what I mean? I don't want to draw something only to have it totally in the wrong place. You know what I mean? What's the point of drawing it real nice if it's totally in the wrong area? I'm going to draw his little swoop. He's got that swoosh, that kind of like Leonardo DiCaprio in the 90s kind of thing. Got the swoosh with the hair. And then he's got that cool windsock kind of look, windsock hat, which I love. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this, and I'll show it. Maybe I'll show it in a photo. But I actually have a Triforce tattoo. So I am a huge Zelda fan. Yeah, just to nerd out on it. I'll show a picture maybe on the side here. Continue to draw that hat. The hat, you know, in case you don't know, I mean, you should know if you're watching this. If you were to stretch that hat out, it basically looks like that. Link's hat. It's just a cone. It's just like this. It's like a sock, though. It's like a, you know, so it like folds over. Ooh, that's a good subject for a video. I gotta do a video on folds, on the way cloth folds. Putting his ear over here. His ear tends to be between the nose and there. Okay. So now this is my foundation. I might give him a pointier chin because he just has that drawing style. I might give him a pointier chin. Okay. So now I feel I have a strong foundation. And this is what I'm gonna work into. See, this is like pass one. We're usually drawing in stages, and I'm gonna kind of write them on the side here. Let me see if there's room to write them. I write them on the side. You know, stage one's like broad outline. So I put outline. That's usually what I do, kind of a circle, that kind of thing. Stage two, I consider this more stage two right here, where I'm finding features, placement, feature placement. And that'd be stage two, you know what I mean? And then now I'm going to go to stage three, where I'm going to actually draw in, you know, essentially it's just straight up line art. Line, I'm going to go right up into the line right now. So let me get into it. His eye's going to be bigger, like I said, it's going to be more anime style, so. Pulling that right there. Top eyelid first. That eyelid right there. I'm going to even it out by drawing a line, like real thin line. I do that just to kind of even it out. Because remember, he's turning that way. You have to figure out how, you can't be completely equal in length, you know? You have to understand the head's turning that way. How would that eye look if his head was turning? Evening out eyes, honestly, at the beginning, if you're a beginner right now and you're still working on that, evening out eyes, to me, is one of the harder things you can do, honestly, because it's so easy to make them look cross-eyed or something. Toward the beginning, that was one of the hardest things for me. And, you know, like I still, you know, every now and then, he's still kind of like, what? You know, I'll look at something, I'll be like, why does that look like that? Why is the eyes, why does he look wall-eyed or something? Don't, just watch out for that. It's always something to watch for, because when somebody looks at your drawing, they almost always look in the eyes first, because that's the way you used to looking at people. You know what I mean? You look at them, you know, right in the eye. Side of the cheek. I am gonna give him some big old eyebrows there, because he's kind of looking very feminine, which is fine. He's a feminine looking dude throughout the game. And I'm gonna give him some brows here. That's probably gonna be covered up, I think, right here by hair. So, all right, let's get into the eyeball itself. I want to make him look more at the screen, really, at us. What's up, guys? How's it going? I'm gonna put a small highlight. Highlight is really what it is. It's the highlight from the sun or light source, whatever light source it is. You're seeing it in his eye. And I'm gonna give him the pupil there. You know, sometimes I remember when I'm drawing something, I'll draw something and I'll be very meticulous and careful about it. And I'll draw it like, wow, like let's say I draw one eye really well or something. And then I'll get kind of annoyed when I realize that I have to even that out on the other side and draw it just as well. So, I don't know. That happens to me a lot. I don't know if it happens to anybody else. It's like, that's such a good eye. Like, damn, now I have to do it again. Like, the eyeball again, I would, here's a little tip on, you know, if he's 3/4, right, he's facing that way, his eyeball is going to be kind of looking, it's going to be covered up a little bit by the side of the eyelid and the nose. So you don't have, you know how there's a negative space, there's the eye right there, right, and there's another negative, there's a white of the eye, iris and stuff, white of the eye. Right here, it's going to be white of the eye, and then just the iris. There's not going to be another white part of the eye, even though you're trying to even it out. It's going to be covered up. If you do that, it will definitely make him look cross-eyed. And I've done that many, many times. So, learn from my mistake. Because drawing is all about attacking your weaknesses. You know what I mean? Well, obviously, everybody's got their specialty. You know what I mean? But once you got your specialty kind of down-ish, you know what I mean? For a long time, I would remix anatomy and, you know, draw a lot of monsters, you know what I mean? That was like my thing. I was like known for. I would remix a lot of anatomy. And now it's like, man, dude, I gotta stop drawing that stuff. It's just, it's too easy to fall back on that. You know what I mean? I gotta attack my weaknesses, which are backgrounds, which I don't do enough even now, but I will. Okay, let's go down here. It's kind of like a ski slope nose. He's got that anime type nose. It's gonna be a triangle. Alright, drawing the nostril here. This pencil is almost breaking. I gotta watch out. And see, there's not much to the nose, especially in on an anime-ish type character. I wouldn't say he's a full-blown anime character, but he's anime-ish. He's got some shades of that. And so I would say there's really one for the front of the nose, right, where the tip of the nose ends. Then there's for the nostril. The nostril's usually not, incredibly large or anything like that. It's really just a dot or a comma type thing. And then that nostril will kind of connect into the rim of the nose there, the wing of the nostril. And that's usually smaller, much smaller. So it's not a big old giant, American type nose, or European type nose. See, it's very simple. If you just look at that, it's like 3 lines, really. Like, it's a very simple shapes. Going over here, the side of the cheek, I think I'm going to pull that out a little bit. Cheekbone, coming back down. Zoom in on the camera a little bit. So I'm already pulling out the cheek. See, that's why you don't draw in super hardcore. You wait there. I'm going to actually pull that out. Making this flat here, and I'm actually going to pull the whole jaw down because of that as well. Use a kneaded eraser, though. I'm going to use a proper eraser. I will not use this yellow thing, or this pink thing. It leaves stains in the paper. Drawing his mouth. Mouth is pretty easy. It's just a line. Just remember, I usually just kind of stay conscious of that split in the middle of the mouth. I don't know. I do, but maybe you can look a little happy-ish or evil-ish. I don't know. And then draw another line for under the lip. There's a little bit of a bevel on the right side of that, yeah. Kind of like showing that is the under lip. And maybe for a little bit for the top, too. It's that little dip above your lip, too, as well. Going down to the chin here. I forgot something. I forgot to place in the his cool, what do you call that? Sideburns. He's got these monster sideburns. I forgot. So that, there we go. Now it looks more like him. There he is. Gotta do it down to his neck. Draw his neck in. He's got that kind of tunic thing going on. So now we gotta go to things. I usually attack the things that are more front to me. So we're gonna attack this swoosh he's got in his hair. And for a lot of you guys, the hair is gonna be probably the hardest thing, because that was the hardest thing for me in the past. Absolutely. And I think of the hair as kind of like a one solid mass. Don't think of the hair as giant, like spaghetti strings. If you think of it like spaghetti, the whole thing, it's gonna fall apart. It's gonna look like he has see-through hair, or it's gonna look like he's, some sort of bizarre bald pattern. You gotta think of it as large. Think of the large masses in the hair. See, I think of one giant lock of a bunch of hair, and another giant lock here. You think of it as giant forms first. You think of it as giant, and then you split it up at the end, kind of random. The edge, try to make that as random as you can make it, It's really hard to be random, You gotta go, okay, I'm gonna be random now, but then if you're saying that, are you actually gonna be random? You know what I mean? So it's really difficult. See, even those are a little bit. So Just when I recognize that I'm making them similar, I'll try to change direction. That's pretty good for his swoosh, and he's got another lock that I missed coming out front there. And I'm thinking of that as one lock. You know, see the under part of his hair over here. And now over here the edge, trying to make it slightly random as you can make it. Put some shadow over here to say that's the inside of the hair, you know, segment, and that's the outside. Then I'm going on to the hair. I also got to make sure the hat. I got to make sure the hat is well placed on his head. I'll take care of the sideburns in a bit. I know you're probably screaming sideburns, but I'm making sure that there's room for his skull, and also I'm actually making his hat a little bit bigger than normal, actually, because not bigger than normal, but I want to make it bigger than his skull because it's sitting on top of his head. You know what I mean? But it also has to conform to the shape of it, especially with his giant windsock look he has going. So let's say that's going there, and that's kind of dropping down. And I am going to have the other side of his hat down there too. I'm already going to place that. Going down here to the giant sideburn thing going on. It's really just hanging hair. I'm going to give it a few different segments, maybe 3. Because 3 is usually the way they draw it in the strategy guides and stuff like that. Drawing that, and I'm going to make a 3rd one down here. It's, you know, kind of hidden around his neck over here. It's not really hidden, it's just hanging down over his neck. Over here. Now I'm going to go into the ear, and remember I made a placement for the ear, so it's very easy to get to it right now. Remember your ear anatomy. If you don't know how to draw the ear, go to my ear drawing video. Just I guess search for it. It's not that long ago. I'm gonna put an earring right. An earring hanging off his earlobe before I forget. But the ear anatomy is the same. It's just pointy at the top of the cartilage. That's kind of it. It's really not a whole lot different. All right. Bum bum. His hat's bending over, so I'm gonna maybe put some kind of fold in here. It's got somewhere, just trying to fit it behind the ear there. And now we can connect his jaw over here. Continuing his neck. The back of the tunic thing going on. Some folds there in the clothing. Let's take care of the other sideburn first, I guess. Same thing, I'm giving him 1, 2, and maybe 3, but I gotta make sure it hangs just as low as the other one. I don't make it like longer. And it's also kind of facing inward, so I have to be careful about that. So I'm putting a little bit of shadow. It's kind of facing, see this is the outside and the inside. I do differentiate like that. That's what I mean by really thinking about it. The hair clumps as masses. You know, think of them as a mass. Let's see. Let me erase a lot of excess lines right now. Might as well. Alrighty. I'm going to go to the tunic right here, or whatever. I don't know if that's tunic, right? Turtleneck? Somebody help me with what that's called. And I'm going to put, this is a very minor detail. It's tied. He always wears it like that. Or at least that version of the game. I think there's more like Twilight Princess I'm channeling Twilight Princess right now. Ties it around the neck, kind of straps, you know. Ties that thing in ye olden days. And, oops, let me see. Let me move this up a little bit. I would also, if you really want to, you can draw in where the sword is going to be. Where he's going to keep... So, what was your guys' favorite Zelda game? I had my favorite by default, and it's going to be a very obvious one, and I know you can already guess it just by the way I said it. My favorite was Ocarina of Time because I grew up with that. That's actually what got me into the game. You know, the whole... Actually, that's what got me into games in general, was that Zelda game. Then I went back and played all the old ones, and then I'm playing the new... You know, I played through the new ones, and I pretty much dug all of them. You know what I mean? Love Wind Waker. Actually, I was going to say Ocarina of Time is my favorite, but it's more like nostalgic as well. I could play it anytime. My favorite, I get favorite, just for the gameplay and all that, would probably be Wind Waker. That was badass. That was really cool. Love the giant world thing, you know. The way you could kind of go around the earth and all that. Alrighty. And now, at this point, you can go to the fourth one. You can maybe put, I was going to say, refine stage. It's the cleanup, you know what I mean? Now I'm going to take a look at it. I got to throw another line here. I forgot because the hat has that. You know what I mean? It's a folding of the hat itself. Okay, I'm going to take a quick look at it, and I'm going to say, okay, what does it need? I'm going to balance out the line. If you saw my line art, I'm going to think about the line now and how strong, now I'm really thinking about detail stuff. Let me, refining stage, what are we going to do? We're going to think about the balance of line, things like that. So I would darken in this line a little bit more, because this is a mixture of line and shadow. You know, not really shadow. These are really just dark spots. I don't really consider those shadow, you know what I mean? They're just things that kind of help you identify the line art. You know what I mean? Just kind of identify what is what. Because I feel like just pure line, sometimes I can't tell what the hell is going on. Even with, you know, like I told you, the line weight and stuff like that. Sometimes it's still just like, damn, that's a lot of lines. Like, I'm not really sure how to get around that. Darkening this, putting in some edges here. And refine means different for everything. You know, it kind of means differently for different people. By refine, you're just kind of like really bringing it and honing it to your own style. You know what I mean? That's what I think of as refine. You're really making it closer to the way you really draw, that kind of thing. You know, what would you do if you had enough time to really work on it? That's why I called my website refinethedesign.com. That's my art website where I have my art on there. It's been also it rhymed, you know, I dig that rhyming thing. Darkening around the eyes here. Going in there, just darkening it. Maybe throwing in a little spot edge here, showing the kind of, yeah. Really going over through the contour of the face. Picking up that line a little bit. Got darkening it up there. I feel this is a little bit confusing back here, so I want to clarify that a little bit with certain line weights. I would even go down here and kind of like pull some lines over here, just like shading lines, to kind of be like, yeah, that's under his neck, you know. outer contour the entire thing. I might want to do this kind of shadowy thing in the back here, because that is under his hat, I guess we're looking at. I want that to be very, very clear, crystal clear, you know, that is the back of his hat, or underneath, you know, underneath part of his hat. I want to show negative space there. I think in another version I probably would pull more hair over here. I think this is, it's too much space between his eye and there. I feel this big empty space. But you know, it works well enough. Boom, 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 boom. Alright guys, thanks a lot, and that's about it for this demo. I'm going to be doing other versions too. Keep making requests. I see them, you know what I mean? I do see them and I write them down and I see if I can make them happen. I've just been on a, you know, kind of a binge of different videos, different video types. I really want to expand the channel and make it very enjoyable. I want to have different segments that are enjoyed, along with the basic how to draw stuff, and then along with, you know, draw this character or this character, and a mix of, you know, critiquing people's art. If you have any ideas for maybe other segments, I'd love to hear about it. Otherwise, I'll see you later. And one last announcement. I am also, guys, just to announce, for the first time ever, I am selling a print. It's going to be the Street Sharks print that I've showed and I had displayed in Imagine FX magazine. I had that in this last month's issue, and I'm really happy. So I am going to sell prints of it now. I'm going to sell 11 by 17. I don't want no tiny paper size ones, you know. I want some, you know, pretty big-ish print. It's going to be 11 by 17, and I'll give you the information. Here's the link, you know. Check it out. I'm, you know, really appreciative of everybody on this channel, and I want to thank you, and thanks for watching. So I'll see you later.